1, 2, 3. Out there in Mandolin land, Mike Heading here, coming today with the great old gospel song, The Old Rugged Cross. We're going to kind of work up a beginner version, maybe advanced beginner. We're going to work on some slides, adding some tremolo, kind of making this beautiful melody, kind of spicing it up just a little bit, not losing the melody, but adding a little bit of extra spice and flavor. I'll break down the solos for the verse and the chorus, just like I played at the beginning of the video, show you all my tips and tricks needed to play the song. And then for the backup section, we'll go through the chords, kind of some strumming chords and some chop chords. This song's in 3/4, so get some good practice. If you're not used to strumming and playing in 3/4, we'll break that down as well. All right, here's the Old Rugged Cross in the key of G. Let's start breaking it down. So let's start breaking down this solo to Old Rugged Cross. Let's start by playing the first 8 measures. That'll be like the opening melody line, so you can get a sense of the melody. And then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, so let's start with the pickup. Let's start by playing the melody in the simplest form, and then I'll show you it as written, just so you can get a sense of it. Remember, we're in 3/4 times, so we're counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The other thing we're going to do on this song, because it's slower, is we're going to break some rules that we might normally use on a faster song. So what we're going to do is we're going to use tremolo, so that rapid up and down, picking on the longer notes. And then all the shorter kind of connecting phrases, I'm going to use all down strokes. So this is kind of like an old style Bill Monroe technique where we're going to tremolo the long notes and then, like I said, use repeated down strokes for the connecting phrases. And I'll break it down. But what it's going to do is it's really going to help those intermediate phrases pop out. It kind of gives it a nice contrast to the tremolo, okay? So like I said, we're going to start on the low G string. And we're going to play the 4th fret with your 2nd finger, your middle finger, and then your ring finger on the 5th fret. So we're going to count 1, 2, and then go 3 and. Okay? And like I said, I'm going to use 2 down strokes there. So I'm going down, down. And then let's play it with the open strings in the simplest form. So in the tab, you'll see we slide up to that 7th fret, which is where your open D string is the same note, hopefully, if you're in tune. So we can play the open D string, and we're going to play it for a dotted quarter note, which is 1.5 the amount of a normal quarter note. So we're going to count. So we count 1, 2, 3, and then count 1, 2, and then we're going to play on the and of B2. So you have 1, 2, and then play the 6th fret with your ring finger on the 6th fret of the G string. And then you're going to reach your index finger up to the 2nd fret of the D string. So a little bit of a stretch there. So the count is 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. So see how I'm tremoloing that first 1, 2, and then I go 2 down strokes and 3. So let's add the pickup. So 1, 2, we're going to use that rhythm a bunch of times, that 1 and 3 rhythm. So get used to that. And then to play the next phrase with open strings, we're just going to actually use the open string and this time do a half note. And the other thing with the tremolo is you can also play without tremolo if you want to practice it, so it sounds like this. You can really cut the tremolo off whenever you want, so don't feel like you have to tremolo to the last second, right? You can kind of cut it off a little bit early if you want. Or you can tremolo all the way through. 1, 2, and then we hit the open D string twice. Measure 3 is pretty easy. It's just good, again, good practice switching from the tremolo, 1, 2, and then 2 downstrokes. So let's put that all together. So we have 1, 2. And then we're essentially going to go to a C chord, and we're going to play that same melody, but now over a C. So let's do it without the slide, and again, we'll break it down as written in a second. But just the simplest version, just so you get a sense of it, is just the 2nd fret, and we're going to play that same rhythm. And then you go down to the 1st fret, and then 4th fret on the D string, and then 2nd fret. So it's basically like this same melody. It's just now we're doing it over a different chord. So we have 1, 2, and 3, 1, same rhythm. And then we actually go back to that 2nd fret and play the same rhythm as measure 3. So 1, 2, and then... So you can see we're getting a nice kind of theme we're developing with that melody. That's why the song is also good ear training. We're developing that theme, right? Now the chords change, and we play that same melody. Now we're going to go to a D chord, and we're going to play the 4th fret. Same rhythm, 1 and 3, and then a little response phrase. 5th fret on the low G string, open D, back to that 5th fret, so keep your finger down, and then we're going to play the 4th fret for a dotted half note, which will be 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. We can actually kind of go into the next measure. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so let's play that in its simplest form just so you got it. So we have 1, 2. And remember, you can do it without tremolo if you want. But let's now play it as written. So what we're going to do is, instead of just using the open string, just to spice it up a little bit, we're going to slide into that note. Kind of mimics a vocal quality or like a violin. So I'm playing 4, 5, and then sliding. The other reason why that's kind of nice is then my finger's right here, and then I just slide it down. Like that, right? So I go... And now I use the open strings because I actually want to get down here. And then same thing here, I'm going to add a little what's called like a grace note. So I'm just quickly sliding into it. See how just adding those little quick slides just makes the song sound more expressive. Again, it kind of takes it from like a absolute beginner to like a advanced beginner, where you're mimicking like a vocal quality. So let's play that part again. So we have... Slide into your C, and then I slide this finger down, and then I grab this 4th fret with my ring finger. You could maybe also use your 2nd finger if your hand's bigger, but I like using my ring finger there. I plant there for a quick second, and then I slide my finger back up. Notice how we're not sliding into that second one. You could, right? So I could go in measures 4 and 5. I could go. So once you get those slides down, you can start adding them wherever you want. So the other thing that's really nice about those slides is that's kind of where your own personality can come out. You can start adding those little grace notes. Usually you're just always going like 1 fret below. I could add another one here if I wanted to, right? Even right here. You know, again, what I would recommend is kind of go crazy with the slides, like slide all over the place, and then you're going to probably dial it back and figure out the right amount. But like I said, once you get those down, you can just start adding them everywhere, which is really nice. Okay, so we play that note. And then right here, same thing. We're going to, instead of just playing the 4th fret, we're going to slide into it. 3, 4. And actually, we're going to tremolo at the same time, too. So we're going to go. See how those double downstrokes really helps that second part of it pop out? You could go down, up, which would be like the more traditional way. You could try it that way too. If you want to try it with the down, up picking, it would sound like this, right? So I would go down, up. Like the traditional picking rules would be a downstrokes on the downbeat, upstrokes on the upbeat. So you could do it that way too, like this. My ear likes to hear, again, I like to hear those in-between phrases pop out a little bit more, so I think the double downstrokes really helps that. Or like even this phrase, using 2 downstrokes there. And then right here we're going to do a 3-4 slide. Okay, so the other thing you can do once you get it down is try adding some dynamics, right? So you don't have to play everything the same volume. Maybe I start kind of quiet. Maybe I kind of swell. So this would be a great song to work on your dynamics. That can add a lot. You know, again, a beginner thing would be just playing everything the same volume. Not that that's bad at first. That you want to practice playing them all at the same volume so you can do it. But once you get that down, a more advanced way would be, you know, again, raising the volume at certain sections, bringing it down, trying to build a little story with those dynamics into your solo. That's a very powerful thing you can do.